Well,
I'm taking a
welcome
knee
back,
in
everybody.
protest
We've
of this
got
video.
quite a video tonight. With me is... Yeah, this is a long video, but it's a good one, I think. But we're starting off on a very bad mission, probably the worst mission in the game, and that's only because of the bonus objective, which is by far the hardest one.
This is
like it's not even close. Okay, so to give it just a little background, I did have to do another Templar Overseer mission for this, but the recording for that mission was too long because I kept screwing this mission up, namely the bonus objective. So I deleted it, but that also got rid of the Overseer mission. But
yeah,
it was just kill
so
the Overseer.
We are now on hunting for the. I believe this is our second of Leonardo's. Yes, the second of Leonardo's war machines, and this is by far the one that this is one of the two that people really hate, and this is probably the one that everybody hates the most. Now, is this your first take at the mission, or is this somewhere down the line, or are you just seeing how far you can kind of just wander through the first area without killing anybody?
This is This is my
you kind of start
third or
learning
fourth
how
attempt,
bad
actually.
the AI is in that first section after a while.
Yeah, the initial part of this is just tail the dude without getting spotted. Pretty typical stuff, but you will very quickly get sick of this sequence after a few attempts at this mission.
Why does this mission suck? Okay, this mission sucks for one because you have to do this opening tail sequence every single time you want to try to do it and complete the bonus objective.
Yes. It also reveals how bad the checkpointing system is in the Assassin's Creed games. Like, okay, there is in-mission checkpoints, but they only trigger
it doesn't
if you
help
die
in some cases
or fail the mission.
And, yes.
Yeah, so the thing is, it's very easy to fail this mission's bonus objective, and
okay, so let's just checkpoint this. It took you about 2.5 minutes to do the first tailing segment, and that is literally like doing it perfectly.
Right. Yeah, because again, I had already done this
to get across
a few
the
times,
courtyard.
and I knew exactly what to do. This is another really simple thing, which, again, I went exactly for.
So it will take you another 40 or so seconds to destroy the plans. We're now at 3:10. I would like to point out that every single time you're going to have to redo this if you don't get this objective. And this is we'll get there. All right. Final point of this. Final part. It's not even the final. It's the second third of this opening portion. Opening third of. By the way, this is the opening third of this mission. We're 2/3 of the way through 1/3. You know, it's like we're 2/9 of the way through this mission by now. Okay. There we go.
Yeah, that part you have to entirely stealth through. You can obviously kill people if you want, but again, I was pretty not in a great mood.
I do like how they said they captured 3 guys and there's 1 guy dead in the back of the cell. Yeah, otherwise you just say we got 2 guys, so we can go.
Yeah, that is a nice little touch.
You got 3. All right, and
unfortunately, there is it's not a huge amount of fighting, but there is a bit. And again, this is another thing.
So it took about 30 seconds to get the guys out of the cell.
So this mission.
About 4 minutes to do the first third of the mission. God. So
now my thinking there was I was going to run ahead and start killing some dudes while they're busy with that last dude, and well, it kind of worked out. They did spawn in, thankfully, but I will slaughter this crowd, and then I'll come back and find they're still working on that
They're making their way back over here.
Or no, there's one guy, but But in any case, they are. Yeah, he for some reason he broke off from the guy we saw him fighting earlier. Then he ran back to help his buddy. These guys are not, for engineers, they're not very smart. And of course, I have to do everything because again, I've had quite enough.
So, roughly speaking, the first half of the second third of this mission takes about a minute-ish to complete, depending on how fast you kill everybody. There's a lot of dudes. Your AI partners can suck. So, yeah.
I mean, but it's an Assassin's Creed game. You're kind of used to the AI allies being useless. Except, I will note with prominence, Syndicate's friendly AI, which is not half bad.
So now, the next.
Now here comes
Yes.
This part is completely unnecessary.
And it's not just platforming for the sake of platforming. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you can see a treasure chest back there.
So it's not even just platforming for the sake of platforming. You have to go and unlock a few gates for your guys. Now you'd think, oh hey, I could just run ahead and unlock all 3 gates that I have to unlock before these guys get here, so that way everything goes pretty smoothly. No. The game will actually forbid you from going any further, so you just have to keep unlocking each gate one by one.
I like to think Ezio is getting as impatient as I am. Because I had about enough of these two for one night.
So here is the last little bit of this. So all in all, you're going to see that it's going to take about 7.5, 8 minutes or so, running everything perfectly through this first part of the mission.
Yeah, it's something you'll get very tired of because you keep doing the same thing over and over, and there's no way to really speed it up. This is about as fast as you can get through this section. Which admittedly is a pretty good time. All that bit done under 7:30, not bad at all. Here comes the worst part. Okay, you're in the tank. Tank's pretty easy to control. The thing is, you cannot get hit by any cannon fire in this mission, in this part. If you get hit by any cannon fire, you fail the bonus objective. Now, thankfully, they do throw you a bone in that small arms fire does not fail you. That would be really bad. The guys there are just really for killing shit. They do nothing.
They're there for scenery fodder.
Yeah, the worst part of this mission is not this bit. This bit is actually pretty easy because you only have those gun emplacements. They're pretty easy to take out once you kind of get the hang of the arc of the cannonballs. So that's not hard. The hardest part is at the very end small spoiler alert, you fight 2 tanks at once, and because the courtyard is filled with rubble, it's very easy to get caught on that rubble and thus be completely immobile when they shoot you. So you have to start the whole thing.
So roughly speaking, we're now
again.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see that monster kill? Got 4 of them in one shot.
Yeah, I know. I'm so completely numb to this mission at this point in my life. Like, this is a very good run at a mission that you will. Like, the worst part is like you can do this, and every once in a while, like if you're just not really careful, a gun in place, one of the cannons will get you because you have to keep moving side to side in order to dodge it. And if you stop for just a second, it will nail you. And it can.
Yeah. You pretty much know where they are before you actually see them, which is one of those things you'll learn on repeat playthroughs of this mission, but it doesn't make the pain any easier. Oh yeah, and don't bother going into first person.
So anyway, as you can see, we've now managed to get to the first third of the last, Okay, so now if you actually hold down the trigger, you will automatically fire, which is a small godsend. Yeah, but as you can see, it's taken us about 10 minutes to get to the final courtyard. This will be something that you will have to probably redo a bajillion times to do this mission because it sucks so badly. So if it takes you 3 times, you've wasted half an hour of your life.
Yeah, and keep in mind, I'm recording, so every second I waste is more space.
There is
that's
fun
wasting
things you
on
can
my
do
hard
with this
drive.
part of the game, which I don't think you're not showing off. Thank God, because it's. I know. I stopped
I'm doing
caring.
this the right way, or let's say the idiot way. You are an idiot if you do it this way, even though that's the way that that was really dangerous right there. 90% of the time I would have gotten hit there.
90% of the time, and you got tripped up because you accidentally clipped a.
Yeah, and that too. I crashed into another bit of.
So the real smart way to do this, by the way, is you can actually go near the out of bounds border and not actually go out of bounds, but things will stop firing at you, and then you can just shoot them. Because that's how a smart person would do this. Not that's
the
how
dumb
I would
way.
like to say. The real way to do this is because fuck this fucking mission, and it's fucking fuck.
No, I don't wish I could keep you. I'm cool
like
with blowing the
I just
shit
don't
out
like...
of this stupid thing.
Tank. And, of course, the entire purpose of doing a no damage run was... I don't know.
Boom. I mean, we were gonna blow the thing up anyway. It's hardly seems hardly as a waste.
That's so goddamn awesome with the fucking tank that he didn't get hit at all, and then he just blew it up himself. Sweet. God damn this mission.
Now, I will say that's the nadir for bonus objectives in this game. There are some that are pretty annoying. None like that, where you just have to redo a large chunk of repetitive
the only one that comes close to it is probably the don't get hit while doing the Romulus attack, the Remus attack in the beginning. But that is literally the very start of a mission, so if you fail, you can restart, and it doesn't take you any time. You will waste 10 minutes of your time and stare at a fucking wall.
And again, keep in mind, 10 minutes is just about as perfectly as you can do that mission. There is not a whole lot of time I could have saved there. But yeah, all of these Overseer missions are really simple. Trust me, you did not miss anything. Let's say forgetting to record that first one. I actually do, even at this late stage in the in my recording of this game, I do actually still have a bit to record. I had to do some of the funner cheats and a bit of sequence 8, I believe, that kind of glitched out for me when I was recording, but that's nothing. That'll take me half an hour probably. Oh yeah, but the one good thing is that unlike some of the other Assassin's Creeds, you do not have to get 100% to 100% synchronization to get all the... Well, you do. You have to get for one, but that's DLC. But thing is, I think DLC trophies do count for the Platinum if you're playing the PS4 version. Which is kind of dumb, but I will say it's a lot easier to get the PS4 version of this Platinum than it is on the PS3 or let's say the last generation version of Brotherhood, where you have those fucking online trophies.
Yeah, the small favors. You don't have to get Employee of the Month.
I was getting some pretty cool kill animations there.
So there's another Overseer dead. And you just had to kick him in the nads. That was your bonus objective.
Yep, that's it. It's about as simple as it gets.
Now, thankfully, the next two... I'm trying to think of what the next bonus objective that you might have is. If you're going out the North Gate, that might be the boat.
We'll see. Well, I know the answer, but we will see how good your memory of this game is.
I'm playing fucking Use 8, and I already started to drink tonight because I saw you were doing the tank mission. So,
well, the pain is over now.
I think it took me about 5 or 6 tries to do the tank mission. But I didn't always get fucked up into it. And I just also randomly got pot-shotted by the cannons every once in a while because I just could not dodge fast enough. Because I was just sniping from long distance away using cover. But every once in a while the cannonball would just nail me somehow.
Cover-based shooting in a tank?
It's called invisible walls. Alright, so we are now doing the boat mission. Yay.
Yay. It's not the funnest vehicle of these 4 missions, but I do really like the Napoli here. It's a nice change of pace.
Yeah.
Napoli. This one is this is a weird bonus objective and kind of a weird mission in general.
So, we'll kind of get to it, but...
Oh yeah, and another thing I should mention about these War Machine missions is that every time you do a new one, you can get a new invention from Leonardo.
Yes, though you can kind of buy them out pretty quickly, to be honest. There's only 3, and...
Yeah. One of them's not hugely valuable, it's the poison darts, but you'll definitely want to get the double hidden blades and jump glove as soon as possible.
Oh, too bad you didn't go to the... redo everybody at the birdhouse before he came over.
We'll manage, I think. He's quite willing to help, which is probably why he gets to live. Except for that whole not killing the innocent business, I suppose.
So... this is really stupid.
I do like him complaining, though. That's pretty funny.
So basically what he's doing is... you kind of just have to swim and dodge a bunch of people, and...
it's kind of a pseudo-tailing mission, but the thing is, you get desynchronized if you get detected, and there's not a whole lot of places to hide in this particular setup. You mostly go through this pretty long cavern here, or tunnel, whatever. Nope, nothing sketchy going on here.
Oh, you're behind the wall.
Oh, hey, you can even see me popping in the water. That's great.
So, that is the first gate open, and so we now only have 2 gates left to do the bonus objective.
Yes. Yeah. But this one could not be helped. This is a
They're all cutscenes. You just have to get to the guy before the cutscene. So basically, the entire point of this bonus objective will now be we have to beat Eduardo to the other side of one of these gates so we can unlock it ourselves. Fortunately, it's also tailing, so we can't get too far ahead or too far behind him.
Yeah, and that can actually be pretty tricky because the range on getting too far ahead or behind him is pretty strict from what I found.
Yeah.
I did fail. Yeah, see, right in here, I'm going a bit further ahead than I really should. The game's going to start yelling at me soon.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, the thing is, there's not a whole lot of places. Yeah, the game. Yeah, I get it. There's not really any places to hide. The guards can still see you up here and pretty easily, so you do kind of have to get right. Yeah, right. Like right there, I cut out where I got caught.
And we have fun with jumping to the side, which you never really have to do in this game.
Yes. Luckily, I did not cut too far. This area is much more generous with checkpointing than fucking tank mission. What was that? Yeah, I know, but why did Ezio fire it like that? You'd think his aimbot would be on.
Yeah, I've had to do it, and I've also had to not kill the guy, and he looks up and saw me.
Sounds about right.
So this is Now, why did Ezio have to even do this? I don't know. He just decided to be
I don't,
awesome.
I don't get why he did that either. But again, these guys I don't think are exactly getting paid for their crack guarding work. Like, you would think that guard would find it a little suspicious that gate opened without, any prompting. But again, it's these guys.
Yeah. Now, thankfully, this mission isn't as bad, because even if you fuck up... so, it should be said that with the tank mission, we never really got to this. The problem with the tank mission is that there's all... it's that when you have a mission that the bonus objective is don't take damage, even if you take damage and die, it doesn't reset.
Yeah.
In a case like this, if you fucked up and the thing got opened but you got spotted, you can still redo the mission. You can still die, and you still have the opportunity to do this.
Yeah, and even if you get desynchronized, it doesn't matter that much, since the game won't throw you a huge ways back. The equivalent with this mission would be if we got spotted on this sequence and I got thrown all the way to the start of the mission. That would be roughly how the tank mission actually does it.
And it's damage is like the only bonus objective where it will actually do this to you. Where once you're fucked in a run, you're fucked in a run. You can't go back and ever just like, oh, you took damage, just restart from the checkpoint where you hadn't taken damage. That doesn't happen. It's just a really annoying thing that this game happens to do. With that type of... there's only a couple, and it's really just that one where it's horrible.
But to be fair, it's not like, I should have killed that guy. That was ridiculous.
Should have killed that one. Yeah, that one too.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
Well, you woke him up so he can go open the door.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. As I said, this is kind of a weird bonus objective.
Yeah. And it's done, which is the thing that matters probably the most.
Yeah, I was actually... The game is kind of dumb sometimes in that it won't mark bonus objectives as completed until you finish the mission. But rest assured, I did get the bonus objective. Oh hey, I've never actually seen Ezio dive with the crossbow out like that.
So yeah, we're still under stealth rules, by the way. So this is just like kind of really weird and screwy.
No. While tailing usually is boring, I do have to give this mission some credit in that it makes it pretty tense. In that, you're swimming in the water, you don't have a lot of mobility, and your ability to hide is also not great because you have to surface for air, so you can't just glide under the water indefinitely. So it makes it a little more tense than Tales usually are in this series.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why we really had to follow this guy. Maybe to ensure that the plans got destroyed. I mean, it's not like there's any chance we could get lost in here.
Well, he's the one who knew where it was, and he went down the secret moat to get there.
Oh, yeah, I guess there is that. At least he's not a blabbermouth.
Yeah. I like how we're now just at the point of, let's fuck it. King of the shitboat. Captain of the shitboat.
There's Eduardo. Now the thing is, there are actually gondolas still in this game. They're not just in Venice and Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah.
One of them's. A few of them are hanging out on the banks of the Tiber. There's also ones in the moat, on the backside of the moat of the Castel Sant'Angelo. But the only reason to go back there is to pick up the one Borgia flag that eluded me in the Il Vaticano for quite some time.
Yes. Detection now permitted. Fuck it, let's just kill everybody. I'm still rusty. I can only kill one dude at a time. Even though I told you Leonardo this.
I still like how, even if you get into open conflict with a dude, you can still stab them if you do it fast enough, like they're not prepared to intercept you.
Yeah.
Taunting will make them break off an attack. Whoa, look at that. Oh, that armored guy.
So now we've reached the arsenal area of this fort.
And there's the boat we have to destroy. But, again, since we're Ezio Auditore, we can't just blow up the boat. No, we've got to blow up a lot of boats. It's just including that one.
Yes.
If you played Assassin's Creed 2 and had the Templar Lair DLC installed, you might also recognize this area as looking fairly similar to the Arsenale in Venice.
Yes. Well, it's supposed to be a shipyard, so we can kind of forgive them for that.
One thing I have been playing Revelations a lot. One thing I will say is that Revelations really a lot more colorful than this game is.
Yeah, they redid the. You can see where they started where they were trying to start to plug in a lot of the Assassin's Creed 3 graphics upgrades.
Yeah,
and it really does help make that game. Plus, you're also running in Turkey and Istanbul.
Yeah,
there's just very colorful.
Yeah, there's considerably different architecture than just going from one Italian city to another Italian city in this game. But it's just going from this game straight into Revelations. You can tell a lot more work went into the texturing.
Yeah.
Now, stupidly, I did get lost here. See, I'm gonna run up to that higher place, which is where you're supposed to go. But again, I got lost, and then eventually I got spotted. Which, up until this point, I was doing a pretty good job of not having everyone know where I am. You can already see that dead guy from when I came up here before.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're supposed to go over to that other side. You may have spotted that one guy way over on that catwalk, and that's where we're supposed to go.
Yes, next to the glowing lever.
Yes.
So obviously, what we're about to do is really what we're trying to reach the flight control levers, which is on a really out-of-the-way catwalk in this entire place. Now, I know that I'd like to make an OSHA joke, but I also know this is, medieval Rome, and it doesn't really...
Well, I can't...
It's not medieval, but...
High Middle Ages, I think, is the preferred nomenclature.
Yeah, well, it's the Renaissance.
Yeah.
Still, there's no way to get there without doing random jumps. That's really weird.
I think we also just drowned a whole bunch of guys.
Were they wearing armor?
Yeah, all of them were.
Okay.
But I guess it doesn't really matter since everyone dies from touching water in the Ezio games anyway.
Except for Ezio.
Yes.
So you thought that Assassin's Creed 3 was the first game to bring naval combat into this series? Wrong!
You would be wrong about that.
And now random plot shit about Mount Vesuvius, which doesn't really make any sense. Anything.
The boat can be a little hard to steer precisely because it does use the gondola controls.
Yes,
but
you can't fire and steer at the same time. Yeah. So you have to kind of.
I mean, I guess it makes sense because Ezio has to focus on actually launching the stupid thing.
This is obviously something that's being meant to be used by more than one person.
Yeah. Thankfully, because
and unlike the tank, we just didn't have a a cage full of a few dudes to help us out with this.
Yeah.
So we're kind of on our own.
I mean, to be honest, we probably could have handled the tank by ourselves. Just because, we are playing as Ezio Auditore.
Every 5 seconds, it's just Ezio swats back and forth.
Actually,
as he's on one side of the tank, and then he's on the other.
And
then he's firing the gun and loading the cannon.
It is pretty kind of a nice attention to detail, I gotta say. And yeah, when it says sails destroyed, it doesn't mean the boats, except if we ignited and set it on fire and such. You only have to destroy the sails, yes.
Yay!
Now this game actually did start a 4-game streak of naval combat in this series. You have this game. You also have Revelations, where you sink boats at one point. Then you have Assassin's Creed 3, where you have a boat, and Assassin's Creed 4, where you also have. Oh, and Rogue. I forgot about Rogue.
Where you have
actually 5 games in a row featuring naval combat.
Right, and then in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, you have a train, and you can. Well, you fight on the train. You don't actually use the train to fire stuff.
As hilarious as that would be. And
it's called Spirit Tracks.
And Assassin's Creed Origins will also have naval combat of some variety.
Oh God!
Did you hear about that history tour mode?
No.
Apparently, what they'll do is they'll have a mode where they get rid of all the story and combat and such, and you can go around and visit a bunch of places where you'll get sort of mini lectures from professional historians on daily life in 49 BCE Egypt, or the Great Pyramids, or the daily life and such. And it sounds like a really cool idea.
Yeah. Because all I need is to humanize the people I'm trying to kill in my fictional video game even more.
Yes, I like how that one guy kind of cartwheeled into the sea while on fire. Getting a little over dramatic there, I think. Now, the thing is, the arc on these things is pretty short, so you do have to actually get up pretty close to set those sails on fire. Usually when they're lit up like that, that's when you know you're in good range.
Yeah. Now, this is thankfully not very hard because they can't actually broadside you for whatever reason.
The advantages of having a small boat.
Yes.
They will set your sights they will set their cannons on you like that, but you shouldn't ever be able to get hit by them.
Yes.
And again, luckily, if you somehow are bad enough at this game to get sunk, you just go back to the checkpoint.
Yeah. Alright, we've now destroyed 4 or 5 of these.
That was funny.
Oh, God.
Boy, nobody's getting brownie points for this.
No. Oh, no, Ezio, there's another 3 of these things flying away from those ships. We've got to chase after them. Ezio, what are you doing?
You're in the middle of the goddamn ocean. Or sea, whatever. Oh, we're just going to swim back to shore. Alright, then. So yeah, all in a day's work.
Yes. Splash.
Piece of cake.
Alright, and now time at long last for the third and final of these.
The
third and final of the optional Leonardo missions.
Let's say the third of this video, shall we?
Yeah, we put the doctor up again.
Now, actually, there's a pretty unlike in Revelations. In Revelations, there's no actual benefit to 100%ing the rebuilding process, but in this game, you do get a cool cape out of it, which makes it all worth it.
You get a cool cape plus you do get discounts for the number unlocked, which is also nice.
And yes, by this point, in a previous video, I did buy the fast poison upgrade, I believe. Or craft it, I should say. You buy it in Revelations.
Fast poison? No, that would be the side quest on Wolf
This
Island.
this was a
Time
good
around.
this was a good position for a poison dude
Yes.
because these guys can't actually back up inside the hay bale. He just flopped over again.
Okay, and now for the
last war machine. Where we had a machine gun, we had a tank, we had a boat. What else? What could be next?
I don't want to say. I know what it is.
Oh, it's right there. How lucky for us.
Yes.
Yeah, they never do actually put the war machines very far from where the overseer missions happen, which is a nice touch.
Congratulations for ripping off your tiny minuscule amount with the thing in front of the dudes, who will in turn give you that same a little bit back.
Isn't life grand?
Yes.
But yeah, I assume the equivalent. I wonder if they'll kind of de-emphasize the database and Origins just because you can do that history tour thing.
I'd like to pretend now in my mind that as you're going through this, the historians are writing it, but it's Sean who's speaking it out to you.
Yeah, that might be pretty cool actually.
And then you get Seanisms in there.
Well, you gotta have
because,
Seanisms.
Christ. All right.
So yes, we have to hijack a prototype bomber.
Which looks very similar to the flying machine that we used in
Yes,
Assassin's
but this one
Creed
is
2.
much better because you can nuke people from it.
The other one, you could kick people off rooftops and watch them go screaming
And
down
get a
to the
trophy
streets.
for it.
And then you could fly around the Fordley for no real good reason. So this is actually a really simple bonus. Well, the bonus which exists here is okay, but
It's not offensively bad, which is about as much as you can ask for.
see, the thing is, it says don't get shot. It doesn't say don't take damage, which is actually a very big key difference in this fucking game. It's actually you would not believe how big of a difference it actually is.
And yeah, the best way to scare off bards is just to fast walk into them. Because if you punch them, local guards will get angry at you for that, and it'll make noise. But if you just fast walk into them, you'll get them out of your hair quite easily. Or, you can just throw them money, which is, what they want in the first place.
I still have to say, I really do love the Bard mission from Revelations. Yes, it's finally having 3 games of putting up with their shit.
They're not in Revelations, actually. Although there are the beggar women, which are basically the exact same thing.
Yeah.
A lot of bards around here, I've noticed. I love how now we've had 3 missions of manhandling architects.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we can't let Cesare have a Leonardo da Vinci bomber on his hands.
It probably would have made things easier for everybody else, all things considered. So yeah, now we're...
You gotta be stealthy here.
Yes.
Although I do like how the game gave you the location on radar. I mean, they've done that all the time, but the directions the architect gives you are not exactly clear.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's much better to have, it marked on radar rather than you searching around like a dope for them.
Yeah. Yep. And now this is one of the more interesting things in the game. You have to go get behind a large group of guards.
Yeah, and just because it isn't a huge red zone on the map does not mean they won't instantly become. Well, we're already marked as notorious, so I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
To be fair, we did beat up a guy and let him go, and he obviously ran to the guards, so it's not that big surprise. So it's interesting because this is one of the few times where social blending actually is a real must-have in this game. Like, you have your mission that teaches you about it, and it's required, and then you have this mission, and I can really only think of like maybe 2 others where it's actually a big deal. 2 or 3 others where it's a big deal. It's not really. I mean, it's very useful. Not during missions. It's just during missions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say. It's just not in the normal skill set of things that Ezio has to use. Ooh, and if he had the jump club, that would have been.
No, we don't need
maybe
the horse.
Could have made that.
The horse is bad. The horse will get us spotted. Now, one thing that actually is pretty cool about this mission and the architecture of the place we're going into is that it's pretty open-ended. There's a lot of different ways you can get to the objective, and the place itself is pretty labyrinthine, so you kind of have to feel your way around for how you get to the bomber.
Yeah. So, we're going to be starting out on this pretty much on the complete opposite end of the tower that we need to get to in this fort. And you kind of run into a problem in a couple of these spots where you can't climb this tower up from ground level. You actually have to go up on and start your climb from one of the higher, the ramparts, I should say, because there's not a way to do it. And as you can see, you kind of walk around. There's nothing really.
Yeah, so it's one of those things you have to kind of intuit how you get up there.
Yeah.
And again, this is a third in a row where you can't get spotted or fail the mission. So you do have to be pretty careful and keep a lookout before you start climbing on shit.
Right. But at the very least, this is one segment where you can kind of just checkpoint yourself.
Yeah.
And
full disclosure, I will
much.
admit I did get spotted on my previous attempt, but you probably didn't notice that because I cut when I jumped into the hay bale, so not something. If I didn't admit, probably wouldn't have noticed that.
Yeah, you probably would have noticed.
Which is why I do like jumping into hay bales and missions, just because it's kind of an Assassin's Creed tradition, and it makes a good cutting point. Yes.
The secrets exposed.
This is not working.
Wrong.
Although it is nice that apparently I made that a lot harder than myself. But how? Yeah. But hey, now they really don't know where I am.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this tower is completely stupid. Again.
The one stupid tower I can kind of understand in the Ezio trilogy is the Giotto's Campanile in the 2. Just because the database makes a point it's not finished, unless the architecture's all screwed up. That makes sense. This tower presumably is constructed, and yet is completely impossible to actually get up without, doing a lot of ridiculous platforming.
Right. Now, it's weird because theoretically...
Everyone who piloted one
well
died.
done.
Now, because this is Ezio, we can't just kill these guys. We got to do it in style.
Yes.
Ezio's such a dick.
Yes. Now I'm gonna assume that maybe that there's a giant. Maybe they did it and then they put the giant lift there. But how did they get up here?
The bomber dropped them off, and then they somehow managed to land the bomber perfectly.
Yes.
So if you played Assassin's Creed 2, the controls for the bomber are identical. It's a little easier to sort of freely control where you're going. It's not just hoping to be. It just wouldn't be an Assassin's Creed game without, people flying off stuff. But the glider controls pretty similarly. You have to make your own bonfires to lift up, which is nicer than having to panically go from one to the other. But again, the point of that mission wasn't quite. You obviously weren't blowing up a lot of shit in that mission.
Right. Now, there are, obviously, in this part of the mission, you got to blow up these 4 camps. Each one of these furnaces takes 2 bombs of fairly... They're more well... They have to be more well placed than
I was wondering why I was never on camera. It's because I was using the first-person mode. I was thinking that I was so high up, I literally wasn't even on the camera anymore. Yeah, just generally steer clear of those towers, because if you get hit, you'll have to suicide yourself.
Yes. Now, because this isn't don't take damage, if you get hit and you ram yourself into the ground and die, you'll actually restart the checkpoint and not be fucked.
Yes.
So it doesn't actually require multiple attempts to really redo this. And also, randomly, I think a lot of these stupid little things kind of respawn.
The towers?
Or they built new towers. Yeah, it feels like there's more of these things that show up.
And yet, you kind of have to get used to how the dive bombing works, because the momentum on it seems weird at first, and you don't get quite as much out of it as you think you might. So it's one of those things you kind of have to get used to how it handles. It's hard to describe.
Yeah.
This is not working well. Oh. But at least I got out of there.
And also, to be quite honest, you should steer clear of the guys really on the watchtowers. Their aim really fucking sucks.
Now we got one last part. All right. Yeah.
2. Yes.
Oh, that. Yeah.
But you did it after the checkpoint.
Start of that sequence. I was kind of worried I didn't see that when I was editing this video, but that's because it was part of the video I wasn't looking at. How did that happen?
So, to be honest, now the bomber mission is probably the second least liked vehicle mission, because people don't always like how the bomber
punishment
controls.
for fucking up is not very much, so it's hard to get angry at it. Yeah.
And it's fucking hilarious when it happens.
Yeah, the carriages can go right. Oh, I just firebombed the horse. That wasn't very nice of me. You actually do have to hit the carriages. The carriage going through fire or hitting the horse, that does not count.
Yeah.
Direct hit.
They've actually built a whole bunch of these fucking things. This has been their most successful build, believe it or not. Now, is it because... I mean, they built 4 tanks.
Yeah,
they built
but
at least
as the guy
5
was saying, they were all failures
gliders.
and got everybody killed.
Well, the first.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
no, I'm not even counting that. I'm assuming the ones that are trying to save work.
Ooh, you see that shit? I nailed that
Yeah.
guy behind the fence.
Yeah, Cesare must know that we
It's
fucked
actually
over
pretty
his
funny.
yet
Cesare
another
has
one
no
of his fucking
goddamn
plans.
clue what's going on in Rome between the time we saw him at the Castello and when he eventually comes back later in the plot. He just has no clue things are going to shit behind his back.
Yeah. Now, the funny thing is, even if this guy escapes, which he can, that doesn't even fuck
that
you
was
over
so
for
goddamn close.
like not getting shot.
I nuked the guy even when I was failing. You see that?
Yeah. Cesare was right off screen. He got told everything.
And then
Then he saw
vanished.
Ezio fly through the sky. And then Cesare got mad and we destroyed all the prototypes and we destroyed the plans. It's really hard to say what exactly Cesare is going to
Probably
do
strangle
now.
somebody.
Maybe get mad. Go see a play,
Yeah,
maybe?
something like that.
I don't know.
But yeah,
Screw
bomber
Croatia and
controls
more-
can be a little
more than
annoying,
one way.
kind of hard to get used to, but it's still pretty fun because, there's endless appeal in bombing people from a high up.
Yep. And that is the most ridiculous way to end the mission. And now you should be
detection is now permitted. Thanks.
Boom.
I think pretty much everybody in
Yes,
like a
detection is now
10-mile
permitted.
radius knows where we are by now.
Your identity is now free. Detection is now permitted.
You remember that Revelations video where
Oh, God.
I was going on that last mission, sequence 6, I think it was, and all those ships were on fire, and I was running away, and it said, "Now I've become notorious." That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah. It's the little things.
The series, more like.
It's the little things of this game. Yes.
Oh boy. Now, in spite of my sarcastic chuckle there, the parachute actually is pretty useful because it allows you to jump off things easily, and it makes one particular mission later in the game quite a bit easier. And it's parachutes, so if you're jumping off someone and you don't want to take a bad
Yes.
tumble, just open the parachute.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it also randomly